Hey there! If you're managing an older SAP system and, your connection to SAP Support has just vanished, you know exactly how frustrating that is. Well, you've come to the right place. In this explainer, we're going to walk through exactly how to restore that vital lifeline, step by step.
So, let me guess. Your early watch alerts are failing to send? Or maybe you're just hitting a brick wall every time you try to download SAP Notes. Yeah? Those aren't just random glitches. They're actually symptoms of a huge change in how your system is supposed to talk to SAP, and we're about to break down exactly what's going on.
So here's the deal. The old way of doing things, that classic RFC connection called SAP OS, it's gone. It's been completely decommissioned. The new way, which is mandatory by the way, is through a secure HTTPS connection. We're talking about a complete overhaul from an old, outdated protocol to a modern encrypted standard.
So why the big change? Well, it all boils down to one word: security. Way back in January 2020, SAP started shutting down these older, less secure connections to its support backbone. I mean, think about it. That old RFC connection was kind of vulnerable. So this whole move was to better protect all the sensitive system info flowing between your landscape and their servers.
And listen, this isn't some new development. These deadlines have been in the rearview mirror for a while now. The shutdown happened in phases all the way back in 2020, starting with early watch alerts and then, bam, blocking service content and SAP Note downloads. The bottom line is, if you haven't made this switch yet, your system is pretty much on an island.
But hey, the good news is this is totally fixable. So let's get into the solution. We're going to start with a checklist to get your system prepped and ready for the new HTTPS connection.
Okay, so we can break this prep work down into 4 clear steps. First, we've got to activate the HTTPS service. Second, we need to enable the right security protocol, that's TLS 1.2. Third, we'll double-check your CryptoLib version. And finally, we'll install the required SSL certificates. Let's dive in and knock them out one by one. All right, first things first, activating the HTTPS service. Your best friend here is transaction code SMICM. Just jump in there and take a look at the services view. If you don't see an active HTTPS port, no big deal. You'll just need to pop over to RZ10 and add the ICM/server port parameter to your instance profile.
Step 2 is all about getting with the times on security protocols. For this new connection to even think about working, TLS 1.2 has to be enabled. You can check this out in transaction RZ11. Just look for the profile parameter SSL/client_cipher suites. This little parameter is what defines the encryption strength, and it's absolutely essential for that secure handshake with SAP's servers.
Now for step 3, and this one's a biggie, but it's super simple. Your SAP crypto library, or CryptoLib, has a minimum version requirement. It's got to be at version 8.4.48 or higher. That's it. Anything lower just won't cut it. It won't support the encryption we need. So how do you actually check that? Oh, it's easy. Just go into Transaction STUST. From the menu up top, navigate to Environment, and then just click on Display SSF Version. It'll tell you right away if you meet that minimum version or not. Our final prep step is all about trust. We've got to install the right certificates. See, your system needs to know it's talking to the real SAP, and it does that using these specific root certificates from DigiCert. You can grab the ones you need from DigiCert's website, and then you'll import them into STRUST. Make sure you put them in 2 specific places, the SSL Client Standard and the SSL Client Anonymous.
All right, with our system prep officially done, we are ready for the grand finale. It's time to actually build the new connections that are going to bring your system back online with the SAP Support backbone.
This really is the final piece of the puzzle. It's time to say goodbye to that old SAP OS connection for good. We're going to jump into transaction SM59 and create 3 brand new HTTPS destinations completely from scratch.
Okay, this table right here, this is your cheat sheet. You're going to create these 3 connections exactly as you see them here. Pay attention to the types. 2 are type G, 1 is type H, and get those target hosts just right. And here's a pro tip, so listen up. When you test that SAP Support Note download connection, you're going to get an HTTP 404 error. Don't panic, that is actually the correct result. The other 2 should give you a nice 200 OK.
And one last thing, this is a super critical detail that you have to do for all 3 of those connections we just built. Go to the Log On and Security tab for each one. Make sure you set SSL to active and, this is the important part, select the default SSL client anonymous for the certificate. That tells it to use those shiny new certificates we installed earlier.
And just like that, you've done it. Seriously, your system's lifeline to SAP Support is back, and now it's secure. Let's do a real quick recap just to make sure all the key steps stick.
So when you boil it all down, the whole process is really just three things, right? First, you prep the system, get HTTPS and TLS 1.2 humming. Second, you install those 3 DigiCert certificates in STRUST. And third, you create and test the 3 new HTTPS destinations in SM59. If you get those 3 things right, you're back in business.
You have successfully brought your legacy system into the modern, secure world of SAP Support. That's a huge win. So that just leaves us with one final thought. Now that this essential maintenance is done and your connection is solid, what's the next proactive step you're going to take to keep your system healthy and up to date? Thanks for watching.